Kiadis Pharma is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company listed on Euronext in Amsterdam and Brussels, and we are actually headquartered also in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Kiadis is focused on research, development and future commercialization of drug products in immunotherapy, products for blood cancer patients and patients suffering from non-malignant diseases. Our lead product, ATIR101 in cancer and ATIR201 in thalassemia, are both based on our proprietary Theralux technology platform and address the risks and limitations of haematopoietic stem cell transplantation, also called HSCT, which is broadly and usually considered the last option with a curative potential for patients suffering from blood cancers or inborn disorders. ATIR101 and 201 both will provide the patient with fully functional immune cells to help the patients fight infections and residual tumor cells, and it is achieved without the risk of graft versus host, which is the core of our technology. So the risks and limitations in hematopoietic stem cell transplantation are fourfold, and they are also the reason why HSCT has never become a first-line treatment for patients suffering from cancer or inherited diseases. The first big risk of the procedure is opportunistic infections that patients might suffer from after the bone marrow has been destroyed. The second is the risk of graft versus host disease, which means that the donor cells which have been infused into the patient will recognize the patient as foreign and attack him, causing a horrible side effect called graft versus host disease. Obviously, one of the limitations of HSCT is that not every single patient is cured, so there is a high rate of relapse in many forms of the disease. And finally, like in any other form of transplantation, there's not a donor for everybody. Kiadis products, ATIR101 and 201, address all four of these topics, and we provide the patient with fully functional cells which allow the patient to fight infections, to eradicate residual tumor cells while not causing GvHD. And because our platform technology allows us to manufacture the product from close family members, we also solve the problem of limited availability of donors. Well, ATIR101 for patients suffering from blood cancers has the potential of providing a potentially curative drug to up to 20,000 patients a year in North America and Europe combined. Those are the patients where the doctors would want to transplant to potentially cure them, but where there is no matching donor available or not available in time. Kiadis believes that there is additional huge potential in cannibalizing part of the current alternatives, like using matching donors from the international marrow registries or using umbilical cord blood as an alternative. Furthermore, due to more recent developments like CAR-T or T-cell receptor engineered products, and due to the aging population, the number of patients that has become eligible for transplantation and amenable to that approach is steadily growing. Finally, we believe that HSCT, once rendered safe, for instance by controlling GvHD, might become an option for patients suffering from very severe forms of autoimmune diseases or other settings where the immune system is dysregulated and needs a reset, like for instance in relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. So Kiadis is very committed to leverage the full potential of this approach and to bring a benefit to as many patients as we can. Well, for patients without a matching donor today, there is no broadly used approved medication, or there is also no well-established standard of care. Our lead product, ATIR101, can make current experimental approaches of using mismatched family donors safer and more efficacious. ATIR is minimizing the risk of graft versus host disease, and that without the use of immune suppression, it reduces relapse rate, it increases survival by better controlling infections, and it has a far smaller relapse rate than most alternative approaches. Our clinical data so far from international trials makes us very confident that ATIR will increase overall survival and improve quality of life for patients undergoing HSCT. due to the fact that ATIR does not need any complex or expensive genetic manipulation, and due to the efficiency of scalability of our Theralux approach, we also can manufacture at acceptable and commercially attractive cost of goods. Therefore, all in all, we believe that we are very well positioned to provide benefit to patients and generate a success for all our stakeholders. Based on our ATIR101 clinical data so far, we have shown a very significant overall survival advantage with good quality of life. And we started to compile a dossier to be submitted to the European Medicines Agency, the EMA, to obtain marketing authorization across Europe rather sooner than later. So we're slated to submit that package in the first quarter of 2017. We expect a decision on outcome early 2018 and launch still in the first half of 2018 if all goes well. For the US, we are initiating a large randomized controlled phase 3 trial in a transatlantic setup in which we will enroll roughly 200 patients. And that study should enroll during the years 2017 and 18, produce data in 2019, be submitted to the agency in 2020 and result in approval and launch in 2021. So the major markets for us for the malignancies indeed are Europe and the US. But while we speak, we also have another phase 2 study ongoing to test the repeat dosing of ATIR101 in blood cancer patients, and we expect first safety readouts in the first half of 2017. And we will initiate a first clinical trial with ATIR201 in thalassemia very shortly, and expect initial data from that also during the next year. So it's busy time for Kiadis and exciting news flow for all our shareholders.